warrants and abatements and refunds have been signed, they're on Rick's desk.
Do you sign a commitment?
No, we didn't do the commitment yet.
Okay.
We did do the other ones. Dylan, did you have any comments on the minutes?
I did. I'll make a motion to accept and approve the minutes from October 17th.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Approved. Okay. How are we doing on the commitment? Wayne, we're gonna be able to,
Well, I look at so I have the line, the flow, the production line from when we didn't make budget,
yep,
and we were above the curve. We started out the year below it, but then we quickly swung
caught up during the
above it. So we're just coming down, and production's actually dropping way down now, so we're in a better spot. I can't produce any more water, but we're in a better spot.
All right, just one signature or both of us sign on this?
Both, please. Thank you.
Oh, commitment, yeah.
That brings us to fire pump installation at 7 Manley Street.
So, we can clear off here. Maybe right there, because that's about the clearest. I got plans all over the place, because, like I said, there's about 7 buildings. Great for the tax rolls, but.
So here's the, this is the site plan showing the 12-inch water hydrants. New 12-inch water from here, basically. So that'll be a tap off your existing
Yep.
12-inch line, which I think we've confirmed that it's 12-inch in Manly.
Yep.
And we're gonna abandon the 8-inch stub that's there, go
Yeah.
12-inch all the way in to our fire pump room, which is here. This is your drawing of the fire pump room itself. Come in.
Domestic feed over there. This is right to the pump,
Yeah, this is your pump main feed here. Comes in, goes through its risers.
So when the sprinklers go off, it's gonna kick on the fire pump?
If you get an alarm,
Yep.
fire pump goes on.
Alright, so then if the building starts, hopefully it never happens, but it becomes fully involved and all the sprinkler heads kick in, what's it gonna pull from our,
1,500 quarter,
Yeah,
it's a 1,500 gallon a minute pump.
right.
and your flow test showed what? Cause that's gonna pretty much start sucking, hopefully it never happens because it'll recap.
It's not the whole building, it's a deluge system, right? So
Yeah.
it's just a portion of the building that's actually triggering that alarm.
Okay.
Whichever head.
Yeah, but
So
I
it's
mean,
not the full
unless,
warehouse.
No,
yeah,
but
unless the
you're-
whole thing went off,
Right.
it's not gonna, it'll have back pressure and it won't.
If the whole thing's burning,
Yeah, that's,
shut the valve off.
So yeah, it'd be too late when we collapse the main in the street,
Yeah.
because the pump's gonna come on at whatever it's gonna hit us with.
so in theory, then what is it gonna do to our system pressure? What will it drop it down to? Cause that's, I heard from another building where the guy, his design was gonna drop our system pressure down to 15 pounds, and I'm like, no, it's not, cause you're not gonna do it.
I'm just trying to see if he makes that note on here. Yeah, so surplus pressure at source, so it's pressure required at source is 1.1 psi, pressure available at source is 19.2, surplus pressure at source 18 psi. Here. Design and discharge rate 1.4 gallons per square feet.
Cause we're never supposed to go under 20 in our
Well,
system.
he's
That's why,
saying,
that's the whole reason why we changed to the 12 inch.
Honest.
To keep you from going under 20.
Alright,
well, it doesn't affect, you going 8 or 12 doesn't affect us, it affects your suction of the building.
Right.
Doesn't make any difference to what we're giving you in the street. According to this, it's saying we can supply 1,968 gallons a minute at 23 pounds.
Yeah, there's good pressure and
So,
flow
yeah,
there.
We should be, and the test was 1,200 gallons a minute, and it dropped to 41 pounds up at the top of the hill. If you notice that.
Yeah, which is like the
That's- yeah,
highest.
That's the high point.
Super high point,
Yeah.
yeah, right.
So it shouldn't be, and it only dropped it 15 pounds to 1,200 gallons.
Yeah.
So that should.
We designed
should be
around
all
that
right.
20, that
Yep.
20-pound
All right,
criteria
Yep.
is what, that's why we changed, we did this whole
Right.
sprinkler system all over again. Because we had it designed differently originally.
What size is the domestic?
I think we're running a
It's a 4-inch,
4-inch.
Yeah.
which is way oversized for.
so I, just,
It'll be
keep
reduced
in mind
down
that
inside
the
the
4-inch,
building, probably like a 1-inch.
1 inch.
But we bring 4-inch so that we have, depending on what they do in the future, if they went
Well, as
manufactured
long
or
as you
something.
understand, it's a
Mhm.
big difference in the connection fee.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
So,
all right, because that's, yeah, that's what I was just gonna say, when you said it's oversized, tie-in fee for that is a lot of money.
yeah. Well, isn't this over the threshold, 75,000 square foot threshold, so it's 81 cents a
oh
thousand?
no, this is.
No,
the
that's,
domestic.
it's different, so there's two fees, there's the sprinkler tie-in fee, and then there's the domestic tie-in fee, they're two separate fees.
Alright. So the domestic is based on the size of the pipe that comes off the main or
Yep.
the size of the meter?
The size that you come off of the main.
So you run a 4, it's based on the 4.
You'd have to, it would be up to them to allow you to downsize in front of the meter and try to reduce the fee, and then potentially pay the, if
Yeah,
they
the-
ever changed.
The reason it's designed that way is because normally the fee that the municipality charges us is based on the meter size and the distribution inside the building,
Right,
which we're fine with, but if this is if it's an upcharge that's significant, then maybe we'll reduce it down to, maybe let's go 2-inch.
right,
We try not to handicap the developer and when they're getting a
You don't wanna
tenant.
give them as much inside.
If they ever needed to do something else. And at that point, if we upsized it to a 4-inch meter, then
We could
we
hit them
would,
with another fee.
you would come
right,
back
so
to
that
us.
would be up to them to okay that, that's why I,
Yeah. So we'll do our design, because now there are talks with a tenant. So we're really not sure how much space they're gonna ask for, and then so our MEP engineer will calculate what's the minimum size source we need, and we can come back and show you those plans again and figure out if you wanna base it on the meter size, we can do that.
and once again, I
Yeah.
don't make that call.
You guys
don't do it,
yeah. Okay,
But yeah, once you know what it's gonna be, because
Okay.
the charge jumps up with the dynamic.
Right.
no, I know, yeah,
So you're gonna allow them to run a 4-inch and then base the charge on the size of the meter?
As long as we can bump them back up again if they. go
Right, if
larger
they ever
Yeah,
enlarge the
that's fine.
meter, then there's
Yeah.
a.
we
there's
would
an
have to come in for
upcharge.
a
Or if we
permit.
had multiples in there and you metered each one separately,
Right,
would bang you for,
Yeah.
let's take 2 inches instead of
Yeah, no,
4, so that's.
I don't see that
I
happening.
don't know about Rick, but I wouldn't have a problem with doing it.
Okay.
right, I mean, it seems reasonable, also remember that
When you got a
when you,
long run in there too, you don't wanna.
Yeah.
so the other thing is I talked about, I hate to do it the plans, but when you come in, so there'll be a gate, you're gonna tie in, there'll be a gate, you're gonna do an insertion T and then a gate behind that.
Yeah,
Yep, and then, so what we want when you come into the building, there'll be a gate for your sprinkler line going into the building, and then there'll be the domestic.
yeah,
So that it's all inside of there, but there's a separate shut off for the domestic. And then the gate on the other side allows you to work on the sprinkler line, and the domestic stays live. And that's how we've done it on almost every building in town
right,
so
so
far.
this plan shows the lines on,
Or are you gonna splinter it off?
we go by to
Yep,
get to the loop
yep,
for the hydrants. So we'll do a tap into the fire, a tap back out and then a second tap for the
right,
domestic, off the same line,
yep.
and just both have gates.
Yes, that way, but you need to, yeah,
You gotta be able to isolate the two.
You need to be able to isolate the two, but you wanna, if you're working on the sprinkler, the more likely you'll be working on your sprinkler, not the domestic, so you wanna make sure that if you work on the sprinkler, your domestic stays live.
Right,
Alright,
yeah, so
Just making sure.
there's a gate between the main and the,
yeah, I mean, if all fails, there's a gate out there to shut everything down, and then, but hopefully that's
Yeah.
never gonna happen.
yeah, so we show a gate for the fire
Yep,
on this plan, but obviously the domestic was here, we show a gate for the domestic.
All right, that's
Because
fine.
they brought it in here originally, but I don't think these two are coordinated. We're gonna bring the domestic into this.
No, that's why I brought everything. Plan
Yeah,
drawing.
it comes into the same spot.
Yeah, the plan drawing shows that accurately.
So both of them have gates, so you can isolate.
okay,
And these plans, these are for you guys, so you can,
all right.
if you wanna keep them. I brought a couple copies.
That's not for the domestic. Is there any?
That's not.
No, there's no, it just.
That's the stores, that's the stores.
Yeah, this isn't showing any domestic.
It just shows that domestic water.
Yeah, it's not showing any.
It doesn't
pipe
show
or
it.
any of those, so we
Right.
don't have anything.
So this is the pipe that comes out for the fire department to
Yeah.
connect to, the storage connection. That's different. Then, again, this is where we'll bring in, I believe at this point, this room will take the domestic as well.
Okay.
It will.
Right.
We've allotted 7 feet of wall space for the domestic.
Yeah, that's what that box is showing.
If we got a double serpentine.
Yeah, but there's nothing that shows any of the piping or anything.
Right,
That's
right.
all it's doing.
And how soon is this going? I mean, I know they're doing a bunch of work out there, so.
Yeah, we'll be up and operational mid-June. We just needed this approval, make sure we get the 12, everything's good, we can release the order, because getting pipe, as you guys probably know, is
Yep.
Yeah,
nearly impossible.
Yeah.
So we wanna get this in the works, which is why we came down.
So the approval for the 12-inch connection?
Yeah, we just wanna make sure that we
Tonight,
get,
we'll worry about the other lines.
we can we'll redesign, I'll get you the plan, I can come in on another Monday or whatever.
Yeah.
And show you the domestic layout, so you have that with the MEP design, and you can figure out what the cost is for the domestic service.
yeah, cause it's taken me currently like 6 months to get meters, so.
Yeah. Been waiting for one in Newark
Yep,
for a year and a half now.
yeah,
How's that VFD going?
I haven't heard on that one either.
All right?
Yep.
So these are yours, I made a couple copies,
Alright.
feel free to put those here with the rest of the plans.
Yep.
So we need
So we need a motion to approve 12-inch connection for the building on Manley Street,
I'll make that
7
motion.
Manley Street. Revisit the domestic connection at a later date.
Correct, yep, I'll make that motion.
Second it, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
That's it.
We're good?
Yep.
Yeah, you guys are good.
Awesome, all right, so we're probably 3 or 4 weeks away, so is it every other Monday?
Yeah.
Well,
First and
almost, first
third.
and third.
Of each
Oh,
month.
first and third.
Unless the Monday's a holiday, then it's the following.
So the
Alright,
next
well-
meeting here is the 21st, and then
21st.
December 5th.
December 5th, all right, so one of those two, we'll have the plans ready for you, we'll come back in and show it to you, we'll figure out all that. And is it 81 cents, it's 81 cents for the fire connection, right?
I know I keep hearing that number, and I wrote it down because I hadn't
It's
seen
it's
it.
the number I wrote
That,
down,
that size it should be. but
Yeah.
we'll
it's over
verify.
75, I thought, the number for D Bartolo was 81 cents.
Yeah,
That's how I have the number in my head.
Wayne
I'm
will
writing it
confirm.
down.
Wayne will confirm that.
All right.
Actually, Kerry is the one who found it last time.
That's what we've told everyone, so,
Okay.
'cause that's what I had for my notes from the last time.
Okay.
Awesome, thanks everyone,
Yeah.
thank you very much.
Like I said, there were so many flow tests back to back to back, it was hard to keep track of who was who. And
No, they do have, it's on the plan.
right, and there are currently about 7 proposed, and theirs is moving right along.
Yeah.
The other 2, I think, are gonna get moving shortly. Yeah, there'll be 2 more that are gonna, on United Drive. There's
Okay,
the
yeah,
3rd
one.
there, I think he's a little slower, that's the old Snell's property.
Yeah.
That's a little slower, but I think the 2 that are further down are gonna move a little faster.
Is it up and going by June? Wow.
Yeah, he's ambitious.
I'm
But
surprised
like
I
I
drove
said,
by there and saw that all cleared out behind.
yeah,
Right.
that's myself. Just saw the thing in the email, and I was at Manley Street, and I looked over, and I saw the trucks coming in, and I'm like, holy cripes, they've already cleared the lot.
We might keep the dirt bikes out of it, well,
Oh yeah, that ended that. They must be having fun trying to keep them off their site.
I'm surprised they must have temporary fence or something on it.
Yeah, I haven't been. I think Randy went in
The
the site.
insurance would kill them
Yep.
otherwise. All right, old business. Wayne, you're up.
Yeah, I'm looking for.
All right, I just changed the signature page for the minutes, for your signature.
Okay.
You guys just approved your signature.
Oh, did you put it up here already?
Mhm.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay.
Okay, so.
All right, so
one, two, four.
station 1, 2, and 4, the pilot study. So they must have went down the Cape first, but I'm expecting to hear from them shortly because they said that they'd be here either at the end of October or November. So we're ready for them. We prepared everything that they were gonna require. So we won't hold them up when they
We're
get.
just waiting for them to show up.
Yep. Station 3. We're waiting, they've ordered the screen, so, the river well, they replaced the 21 feet of the 4-inch column coming up and the check valve. I don't see the electric motor, so I keep harping on them that I want the electric motor replaced while it's up and out. And then the driveway plow, the pumps was plugged with iron, but it was in good condition, so, they're stainless steel bowls, so they cleaned them, put it back together. There's another one where they replaced 42 feet of column pipe and a 4-inch check valve coming up. And once again, I want the motor done.
You're saying that it's waiting on screen?
Yeah, they've ordered the screen for the driveway well. That's the only one that needed the screen, so that's on order. I emailed him earlier today, and he was supposed to be getting a tracking number so he could see where it's at.
But it's not like a 6-month out kind of thing, it's something,
No, I think it's quick.
so that should be maybe in a few weeks up and running?
Yeah, hopefully, because, so our PFAS sampling from Manley is quarterly. Now, we had a whole pile of rain, as the rain came, the number jumped. And it's quarterly, so if I can get it going this month, I'll have 2 numbers for my average. If I can't get a sample before December, then I get 1 number for my quarterly average. So hopefully it's a good number.
When it said it jumped, has it gone over?
It did not go over, but it did jump up.
Yeah.
So it's interesting based off the time of year. Last year we were
Yeah.
behind this time of year.
Right. But we're getting wet again, so I think we're supposed to get like 2 inches of rain possibly Friday or Saturday.
He said hopefully it gets up and running quick and.
Yep. The replacement well, I haven't heard on the VFDs. They did some electrical work. We're taking our coliform samples to qualify it, and then I think this is where they dropped the ball, because I asked them what I was gonna be required to do for sampling to bring it online.
Asked
And
who, was that DEP?
Tatter and Howard.
Yeah.
And I also asked, I forget the people that are asked them what was required. And nobody seemed to know, so I'm doing my total coliforms and equalize. We did one today, we'll do one tomorrow, hopefully they come back good. And then I'll press them to find out from DEP what I need further to do to put it to the system, because it's tied in electrically to the old system, so it's good to run. So if I can get that back, I'd be much happier.
And that way you can just run it full bore until we get the VFDs
Right,
someday.
yeah. The asset management, that was finished, I know he submitted everything. Cause they were waiting on a signature and I made sure I got it to them.
We're waiting for DEP now just to
Yeah,
approve it and
so
give
the-
us our money.
Right. Walnut Street, I haven't heard any more, like he said when he was in here, they had some issues with their software and licensing and
Yeah.
so they've got that, so I expect something out of that at some point. The Lincoln Street warehouse, well, I asked them,
Just heard.
yeah,
That's on hold at least until spring.
yeah,
Walnut Street tank twice.
yep, and we'll
Sorry.
fix that next time. And then, water rates, well, I don't speak to that, but, I mean, everything's blossoming, she just got like our PFAS samples, they charge us now for, what was it, fuel and something else, or,
Right, it's a 7.5%
Percent.
tax on each test. It was like 121, it's almost $1,600 for 3 tests.
right. So everything's escalating,
Well, once we had told Tater and Howard to come back, I think after that last time, to go over more detail. Once we had some ideas on the schedule, so we know how to put
Right.
things in, so we can work up something realistic on the rates. I'd hate to do one early, just to,
so they won't go that far, cause I kinda listened to them, and I know I've seen rate studies done before. So, like, just what he's doing alone is, as a freebie, that's a good thing, but they probably won't go much further before they're gonna want $25,000 out of you for a rate study. And they're basically letting you know that it's, it's on you to figure out which way to go and what to do.
but they were going to figure out a little bit better on what that schedule coming out.
Right, we need the time
You
schedule.
know, we need
and-
that, whether we do it ourselves or we decide to pay them, that's part of the
Yep,
freebie
Yeah,
we're
they-
talking about.
right,
To kind of work in the schedule there. So we need, and realistically, we need that to have a clue, because we're gonna have a bunch of rate changes.
right. And then there's no way going into it whether we'll get, hopefully that they push and we get a grant and it pays for
Yeah,
both
the
things.
SRF.
Yeah. Because I know the last thing that I had seen that they were pushing to put more free out of it instead of 0%.
And free is good.
Mm-hmm.
And we never set a schedule for him to come back in though, did we?
No.
To change. Between that and the Walnut Street tank, it might be worth just touch base with him and
Yeah,
just to question where things are and see if we can get him to come back in
All
before
right.
the end of the year.
yeah, I'll see if I can get them in probably the meeting before the Christmas vacation.
Okay. Solar, anything?
I was looking before I got in here, but there's a lot of gobbledygook, and it looks like you really need to know, costs going into it, which, then you need to hire somebody. And I know Rick knows as well as we all know that prevailing rate wage croaks us when you have to do things. I do know that they do have money out there, but it's, you've gotta spend money to get there and know what you're looking for. Cause I was trying to read to
Basically
see
have
if-
someone do a load study and
Right,
lay out.
and that's what I was trying to see, if there was some program out there currently that would have them come in and do that so that it's done for us. But I haven't been able to find any out of the SMART programs or even any of the programs, but they do have money and they are giving it away through the SRF programs. And it looks like it's free grants, so it's,
So we'd have to find somebody to
right, it's
actually
gotta have
put a
somebody-
proposal together that we could actually have money to go and chase the grant.
Right,
Do we know of any companies around that are doing that, or
I mean,
as you were doing your research, did you run across any of that, or?
I have not seen anybody associated, but there are towns that have received money, so I can reach out to, see if I can reach out to them and find out who they use to get going.
No, it might be worth checking.
Yeah.
Because if there is money and we can lose some of these costs, and nothing else, it'll help, down the road, it'll help with the rates and better do something.
Right.
Job posting.
I can't get anywhere because I can't like, when I posted it, I could, because it's my account, I can go out there and look. Not that it helped, I don't think it helped any, but you can at least see who's out there and look at other things and maybe tailor the posting to get people that aren't cooks and whatever else. I understand everybody wants a job, but we're looking for a specific talent, and even though we spell it out, we still get the other people.
Yeah, Linda actually just sent me one that I didn't have a chance to look at before the meeting, but I guess works at another department. Did you see that one?
I saw the one for, so I actually
I wasn't
sent
gonna
you
say,
an
I wasn't
email.
gonna say what town, but.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was one from local, yeah, that's what I sent you
Yeah.
also, just in case you hadn't seen it. And I, like I said, I know a lot about that town, and there were funky things that went on at one point. And it's probably still, you know, it's a small town, but it might be worth, it's a body, it's not specifically what we're looking for, but it's a body.
You wanna maybe try and talk about bringing them in and talking
Yeah.
to them?
Right,
Right, set something up at your leisure and let me know when,
alright,
or when it works.
yep. We danced around that, so we didn't announce what it.
You don't wanna say what town it's from, and, you know, it's in public, and if somebody's looking, that their bosses don't know they're looking. or
Right.
something. You know, we don't need to, and if we, you know, we get to the point, decide you're hiring somebody, that's different, but not just to look at that stuff. That's the agenda.
Oh, the
What-
only
what
other
else
thing
is-
Ed Maderos, his bill is going upwards again, so of course the first thing he attacks is our meter. But I had replaced his meter a year ago, so I'm gonna have them pull it tomorrow, I'm gonna send it out and have it tested anyways. But the last time that we went into his park, you know, at 4 AM, the meter was spinning like a top. The minute our diesel truck went plowing through there in his neighborhood, all of a sudden the meter stopped. So I don't,
Well, it's one of the reasons I don't wanna get involved with this bit about metering his individual ones.
Right.
We still have to have a master meter for that. things
Right.
like that.
yeah.
So, yeah, and if it's a year-old meter,
Yeah, because I made
That's
sure,
not-
because the usage in there, I think, it kind of takes it beyond what the size of that meter is. They're not supposed, they're using the same amount of water almost as what Matfield Woods is using, which is
that's not
you know,
even close.
like 3 times their size.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, something's going on in there and I don't know what. And because it's a mishmash of pipe, we don't know what's in the ground, he doesn't have any gate valve, he has nothing. So you can't listen anywhere, you can't do anything in there. And leaks can stay submerged, they don't always, you know, like we had that big leak that
Oh,
took
yeah.
us almost a year to find, and that was a lot of water, and it didn't surface. So, we'll send his
So you
meter
think
out, I'll have it tested and that, you know, let him go find where else his issues are.
But it really doesn't sound like it should be. And usually those meters under register anyway. They don't-
Right.
They don't read high. So, we'll see. Anything in those particular in the stack of plans?
Well, I'll bring in, a lot of them are just the bigger warehouses, so that when I see them start making rumblings of clearing ground, then I'll make sure I get to them and have them come in.
But there's nothing that's been coming in that people are asking for us yet, as far as connections or anything like that.
No.
Dylan, anything for tonight?
Do we resume flushing?
We did not resume flushing.
Okay.
Actually, that reminds me, I did get a phone call. Did you change anything as far as what was going in the system? There was a yellow water. It went away
Right.
not too long, but they said,
Yeah, we haven't, we do our Friday, where we go around and we low flow specific areas that we know we've had issues with in the past, and it seems to have worked. I do know if somebody fills like a big jacuzzi tub or something, and they turn on their faucet full bore, you can stir up the system and pull in water if you do that.
Are you gonna resume flushing? You done for this season?
We'll have to watch the weather, because if it starts to get cut, and I think it's gonna go cold again, then we'll there's not much I can do after that, cause if I put down water and it freezes up overnight, then we become liable. And it hits the street, there's no way around it, you know, we use flushing boxes, but it's still out in the roadway.
Well, it'd be nice to have like Manley Street running full
Yeah.
before we try to do anything. I mean,
Right.
the marginal one, the amount of water we can put out. So why waste it? We having any trouble with the tanks? So tanks are recovering good?
No, they're recovering now, the usage has dropped way off, so I think most of the people have blown up their sprinkler systems and shut down for the year. They're still moving forward with that, he's gonna tie he's gonna supersede our permits with, whatever Mass declares as a drought level. So it's not by permit anymore, it'll be by drought level. The only thing, they opened it back up for comment because they're allowing, parks and recreation are allowed to sprinkle, so, or not, I forget, but that's why they opened it back up for that only.
But as far as comments for whether they should be allowed to or not, because I think they are allowed.
Yeah,
to,
and that's its
under the
comments
drought.
for that.
But other than that, when the drought goes from now on, it's just gonna be based on.
Right, it'd be based by the drought.
Yeah, not by what we're pumping or what
Right,
a permit is. I mean, another reason we gotta look closer at the rates, because we gotta pick more of it up out of that basic rate. If we're gonna start losing more and more of the excess.
right.
Anything else on the composting
So
facility?
they were making rumblings about wanting to come in, and I told them when the meeting was, and I told them they were on the agenda, but they're not here. I haven't seen anything about them. I asked, and he took it out of my comments, I asked when they're gonna remove the pile.
Yeah.
And I also asked them how long they've been there, cause I can see it in the aerials. So, and I didn't hear anything on that, so I think they're just stalling out.
Well, they still have a cease and desist anyway overall,
Right,
as far as doing anything in there. But we still want their stuff moved
right.
out of our side. And I think I saw a couple of emails were floating around about trying to set up a meeting from the guy that's representing them,
Yeah,
but just seemed to not go anywhere. We'll just keep them on the agenda, just in case.
yeah.
Was somebody going down and actually checking on that?
So we
On a
might have to
regular
start
basis?
doing that, and, cause it, you know, doesn't bode well that they did it, what they did.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Okay. Anything else that's been coming up that
No,
we can talk about that we don't have to vote on, or?
no, not that I know of, everything's good.
Special town meeting.
Oh, yeah, and you asked about the special town meeting, and I know you saw it, so.
Well, we saw it, but we'd have to have, we basically have to vote on something for it tonight. We
Right.
don't have anything ready to go up with.
Right.
So we're apparently not gonna have anything on the special town meeting warrant.
Alright,
And that's gonna be Monday, it's the 5th,
December 5th.
6 p.m. Yeah, 'cause there's nothing we haven't even to be close to being able to
no,
put together.
So the same day as our next meeting? I'm sorry,
It is a thing.
not our next meeting.
It's not our
meeting
next
after that.
meeting, yeah. Next
No,
meeting.
the meeting
is-
after, it's the first
Yeah.
meeting in December.
Right. Ours is at 5, this one's at 6.
Put it in the calendar now before it gets lost. Okay, if there's nothing else,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. So the next meeting is, you said the 21st?
Yep.
And then the 5th, and we'll have the